Hey there, Hunters. Welcome back to the Gunners Guild. Today I want to discuss the 1.3 update in Wild Hearts some more, and now that I have significantly more data, I want to focus on the talisman changes today because there's kind of a lot that changed. So let's just dive into what's new and different. So we're going to go over all the ways to get talismans. I had previously done a video on where to get all the talismans, but a bit has changed since then, so this is going to be like a good refresher, but you should definitely watch that one to get an idea first, and then this is going to be supplementary info. So the first place to get talismans are the fixed talismans on the maps. You should have these by now, and there are plenty of guides on how to get them online. Go get them, please. None of these are particularly good in my opinion, but you might as well just get them, right? And then we have the actual kimono hunts. Normal and mighty kimono have the same pool of talismans that they do pull from, but do remember that each kimono has a bias towards a certain set of skills. Please refer to my talisman reference sheet in the description for an idea of what each kimono can drop. Nothing has changed here as far as normal and mighty kimono go. Now new to this update, we have the volatile kimono talismans. Previously, these shared a pool with the normal and mighty variants of the kimono, but now they have a unique twist to their talismans. Volatile kimono talismans can now drop with weapon skills which were previously only obtainable through visitor request hunts. There is a catch though. The way these work is that the kimonos still have the same bias towards their skills, but now each kimono can roll one skill for each weapon. Then that's it, just one skill. At least that's the conclusion I've reached with the testing I've done so far. And what I mean by this is that if you get a talisman with the weapon skill, then you're going to have a 2-skill talisman, so it's not just stuck to the one like the visitor request talismans are. But both of these skills will come from the kimono, so it could be a skill from its favorite pool, or 2 of its weapon skills, which is useless because each kimono has 1 skill per weapon. So an example of this would be Ember Plume. Ember Plume always has Speed Shooter for its bow talisman skill, and Key-based Fortification for its cannon skill. So every time you get a weapon talisman for bow or cannon, it's going to be Speed Shooter, and it's going to be Key-based Fortification, or it could be both. You could just be really unlucky and get 2 weapon skills. But you can also get one of the weapon skills and a skill for that kimono, like Desperation. So you can get Key-based Fortification and Desperation, and Speed Shooter and Desperation. I do hope it makes sense. But you can always reference my Talisman Table, which I'm currently working on, to see what each kimono can drop. Sorry, it's still work in progress, it's a lot of work, I'm working on it solo, bear with me. But basically, every kimono will have 1 skill for each weapon. So like, maybe one monster drops like, Extreme Archery, and then one has like Claw Master for Claw. You won't get any other Claw skills, you won't get any other bow skills. The volatile monsters will have different weapon skills, but literally just 1 skill for each weapon. I can't hammer that in enough because I know some people will get confused. But anyway, so volatile monsters now have their own talisman tables basically. There's no other way to get talismans with a weapon skill and another skill. It's like the only 2-skill talismans you'll get. So now farming volatile monsters is very, very good because not only do we need them for their cosmetics, but we need them to get the keystones to fight the deeply volatile monsters. We can also get our orbs for our weapon limit break system from them, and they have their own unique talismans. So farming volatile monsters is very good right now. And luckily, they gave us new quests so that you can actually unlock static hunts for these volatile monsters. You don't have to do the rotations for the random ones that would spawn on each map. Refer to my last update video on that. Moving on, we have the deeply volatile talismans. These have undergone some changes over the updates, but here's a brief overview of how they work. So deeply volatile monsters have a talisman pool with a large amount of skills available to them, and they can roll higher values compared to the regular and volatile kimono talismans. Going back to the Ember Plume as an example, Ember Plume is typically limited to 4% on its Desperation roll for its talismans, but deeply volatile talismans can roll up to 6%. Each deeply volatile monster has a bias towards certain skills, like regular kimono would, but they have nothing to do with like the original counterparts. They have very specific biases. An example would be Ferret Crazecomb favors Lunge Bolster, Deaf Ears, and the Sidestepper skills. There are tons of other skills that can roll, but these ones have a higher weighted bias on this specific kimono. The new deeply volatile kimono, Hellfire Laharback and Death Haze Gloombeak, also have unique skills that can only be found on their talismans, being Infernal Blow and Toxic Shock respectively. These deeply volatile monsters can also drop 3% status talismans, whereas the limit is otherwise 2% on the talisman. In this recent update, deeply volatile talismans also come with a unique suffix: Gnaw for Toontail, Warcry for Crazecomb, Armoring for Gloomquill, Icicle for Soulstalker, Blaze for Laharback, and Miasma for Gloombeak. Kinda like how the Visitor Request talismans would also have a suffix. These are changes to their naming convention only though, and the talismans from pre-patch and post-patch are the exact same and still pull from the same pool of skills. Previously acquired talismans will not have their name updated, but literally all this is just a naming change. Now, speaking of the visitor requests and stuff so much, those are still available and their talismans still contain weapon skills, and unfortunately they are still stuck to one skill talismans. They did also fix the exploit where you could repeat these requests infinitely. Now if you try to abuse the system and close it out early, you can repeat them about 3 times before the visitor is forcibly removed. So shame, can't infinitely farm those anymore, but at the same time I don't see the point in farming them because one skill talismans are pretty bad. We also have the new arena quests, which do provide you with talisman rewards. In case you haven't done those quests yet, there's one for each weapon, and each arena quest will drop you off in front of an angry kimono, and you have to beat it as fast as possible with predetermined gear. Now, on your first completion of these, you will be rewarded with a talisman for that weapon. This is a fixed talisman with one skill for that weapon that can only be obtained once, so just go get those done, and then also don't forget to eat on those hunts. You can also reference my Talisman Table to see what each of these talismans do. So that's basically all the changes for the talismans for now. I'm still going to be working on the table to get an accurate idea of each skill that each volatile kimono can drop, but again, bear with me because it's a lot of data to gather and I'm doing this all on my own. But that's going to be it for me, so thank you all for watching, and thank you to my Patreon members, again, much appreciated as always. And if anyone wants to talk shop about Wild Hearts or just gaming in general, feel free to join my Discord in the description below. But yeah, thanks and good luck out there, hunters.